Hare Krishna, welcome to Vedsarthi. My name is Sachi. Today we are starting Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, verse by verse learning. Before we go ahead and discuss verse 1 of chapter 1, let us talk about history a little bit. Here we have shown just relevant lineage with respect to the Kurukshetra war. So here, in the Kuru dynasty, Maharaja Shantanu was the king at Hastinapur. And he begot a son called Bhishma in the womb of Ganga Devi. And then Ganga Devi did not remain with Maharaja Shantanu after the birth of Bhishma. And later on, Maharaja Shantanu married Satyavati, who is the mother of Srila Vyasdev. Actually, it was Bhishma who approached Satyavati's father and solicited his permission. And after some negotiation, the marriage took place. Now from Satyavati, Maharaja Shantanu had two sons, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Chitrangada ascended to the royal throne, but he was killed in the battle with the Gandharva, whose name was also Chitrangada. And then Vichitravirya ruled the Kuru kingdom, but at very young age, due to tuberculosis, he died, and leaving behind two widows, Ambika and Ambalika. Then Srila Vyasdev was called upon to beget children in their wombs, and Dhritarashtra, Pandu and Vidur were born. Dhritarashtra had 100 sons, eldest was Duryodhan, and Pandu had 5 sons known as Pandavas. So their names are Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjuna, Nakul and Sahadev. Dhritarashtra was disqualified from ascending to the royal throne because he was blind. And Vidur was the son of maidservant. So Vidur was also disqualified. Then Pandu ruled the Kuru kingdom, and his 5 sons, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul and Sahadev, were the rightful owners of the kingdom. After Pandu's death, the kingdom was deceitfully usurped by their cousin brother Duryodhan, who was the eldest son of the blind Dhritarashtra. And because of this cheating and deceit, Pandavas had to spend 13 years in exile, including 1 year incognito. After their exile was over, so it was expected by them that they will regain their kingdom. Because the prescribed duty for Kshatriyas is ruling a kingdom, so Krishna went as Shantidut and requested 5 villages for the Pandavas, which Duryodhan declined. And therefore the war was inevitable. So this is a brief background. Before the beginning of the war, Dhritarashtra inquired Sanjay. Sanjay basically was the disciple of Srila Vyasdev. Srila Vyasdev had bestowed Sanjay with the so that he could see what was going on in the war and can convey the same to Dhritarashtra. So the first verse is where Dhritarashtra inquires to Sanjay. This is the chapter 1 theme. So chapter 1 contains 46 shlokas. Shloka 1st to 13. Shloka number 1 to 13 is about preparation of the war. Then 14 to 20 indicates signs of victory of the Pandavas. 21 to 25 talks about Krishna as Bhakta Vatsal. And from 26 to 46, Arjun shared his doubts with Lord Krishna. So this is the basic theme. Now shloka breakup here. Bhagavad Gita 1.1, Dhritarashtra's inquiry to Sanjay. 1.2, Duryodhan's fear. When he looks at the army of the Pandavas, he becomes fearful. So that is explained in Bhagavad Gita 1.2. Then 1.3 to 1.6, Duryodhan describes Pandavas' army. And then from 1.7 to 1.9, Duryodhan explains Kaurava's army. Then 1.10 to 1.19, glowing of the conch shells. 1.20 to 1.27, Arjun observes the armies. And then 1.28 to 1.46, Arjun gives reasons for not fighting the war. And there are basically 5 reasons that he has provided. We have listed here. 1.28 to 1.30, compassion. 1.31 to 1.35, no enjoyment even if victorious. 1.36 to 1.38, fear of sinful reactions. 1.39 to 1.43, destruction of family traditions. And 2.6, this basically, this is, although this is a part of, chapter 2, but it's one of the reasons of Arjun's not fighting the war. So we have included here also, so that, together you can see all the points. So 2.6, indecision. Now moving ahead with verse 1.1. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmashetre kurukshetre samaveta mamakaha pandavaschaiva kim akurvat Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra uvacha. King Dhritarashtra said, Dharmashetre, in the place of pilgrimage. Kurukshetre, in the place named Kurukshetra. Samvetaha, assembled. Yuyutsavaha, desiring to fight. Mamakaha, my party, my sons. Pandavaha, the sons of Pandu. Cha, and. Eva, certainly. Kim, what? Akurvat, did they do? This is, Dhritarashtra is asking what did they do. So that is why, past tense. So this is akurvat. I've seen, like when people recite this verse, generally, they make a mistake that they do not say kim akurvat, they say kim kurvat. So it is not kim kurvat, it is kim akurvat. Okay, so we have to be very careful with the pronunciations. I will be sharing another video where I will explain how to learn the verses. Okay, how to pronounce and learn the verses step by step. So the translation of this verse, Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? When you go through these videos, because we will be presenting to you explanation of all 700 verses. So, whenever you get opportunity, when you listen to these videos, please try to recite and learn by heart the verses also. Now, the way we are presenting this specific verse is in the form of Dua analysis. Dua, D-U-A, where D stands for discover, U stands for understand, and A stands for apply. So basically, discover, under the column of discover, we write what is the specific thing that you have discovered in that specific verse. And then understanding is understanding of that specific discovery, basically. So whatever, knowledge you have discovered in the verse, understand how to understand that specific knowledge is in the understand column, and then apply, how you're going to apply that practically in your life. So let us go one by one here. Dharmashetre Kurukshetre. So here, what is the discovery? That Kurukshetra is Dharmabhumi. That Kurukshetra is Dharmashetra, Dharmabhumi. And now understanding. Kurukshetra is a real place. It is not mythological and symbolic. So very, very important point. Because sometimes, you will see people concocting and saying that this Mahabharata is also mythology and Bhagavad Gita is also mythology and all those things. But just understand that Kurukshetra is a place in Haryana, India. It's very much there. It exists even now. So Kurukshetra is a real place. It is not mythological or symbolic. Next, in discovery, what did we learn? That it's Dharmkshetra. Now, why Dharmkshetra? So here, Kurukshetra is a place of worship even by the denizens of heaven. Even, Devtas, the beings from the higher planets, they visit and perform worship here. Brahmaji performed yajna in Kurukshetra, and Maharaja Kuru had also performed austerities. So this place is very, very potent. Next, Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra will facilitate increase of dharma because of the potency of dharma, devotees, and Bhagwan. So here basically, because this Kurukshetra is Dharma Kshetra, so Kurukshetra will facilitate the enhancement of dharma, that is righteousness. Dharma means righteousness. So dharma in this place, because why? Because of the potency of dharma and devotees and Bhagwan. Because in this war, Lord Krishna himself was present on the side of Pandavas because of the history that is given in point number 2, due to which the place is very potent, and because of the presence of Pandavas, devotees, and because of the presence of Lord Shri Krishna. So this place will facilitate increase of dharma. Next, Kshetra refers to the field. So here in Kurukshetra, Krishna, the father of dharma, will cultivate crops of dharma like Pandavas and wipe out unwanted weeds like adharmi Kauravas. So this is basically analogy which Prabhupada ji has given in the purport. I will read the analogy for you. As in the paddy field, the unnecessary plants are taken out. So it is expected from the very beginning of these topics that in the religious field of Kurukshetra, where the father of religion, Sri Krishna, was present, the unwanted plants like Dhritarashtra's son, Duryodhan, and others will be wiped out, and the thoroughly religious persons headed by Yudhishthir would be established by the Lord. So this is the significance of referring this Kurukshetra as Dharmakshetra. Now, how you will now apply this understanding in life? So wherever there is satsang, or the place where Lord is being glorified, so that place is Dharmakshetra. We must make our home, our workplace, a Dharmakshetra by engaging in the service and glorification of Lord Shri Krishna. Then all the inauspiciousness from our life will go away. And next application, that Mahabharata is real history. Bhagavad Gita is not symbolic or mythology. It is real history. Next, Samaveta Yuyutsavaha, assembled in Kurukshetra desiring to fight. Now understanding, this was a war between Dharma and Adharma. Dharma at the Pandava side and Adharma from the Kaurava side. Now application, we should always follow the principles of Dharma and should never support Adharma. Next, Mamakaha Pandavascheva Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. What did my sons and Pandu's son do? Here actually, Dhritarashtra says, my sons and my brother Pandu's sons. So his mentality here is wrong, because he is entangled into what? Me and mine, main or mera. So basically this is characteristic of a dharmi person, non-righteous person. Mamakaha Pandavascheva Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. What did my sons and Pandu's sons do? Here Dhritarashtra is not accepting that Pandavas also belong to him, because they were the sons of his Dhritarashtra's younger brother. Dhritarashtra only mentioned his sons as his own. So this shows his hatred for Pandavas. This shows his hatred for Pandavas. His mentality is wrong. So understanding is that one who is entangled in me and mine, main or mera, is a demoniac personality. Because learned people look every living entity with equal vision. Now what is the application here? One who is concerned about me and mine is basically a follower of Dhritarashtra, and we have to get rid of this mentality. If we have this kind of mentality, we must get rid of it. And how do we get rid of that mentality? By listening to Lord Krishna's instructions. That is, listening to Harikatha. Next. Now here, one may question that although both the parties assembled to fight, still why did Dhritarashtra make this inquiry? Basically, in the verse also, Dhritarashtra says, desiring to fight, right? Dhritarashtra says that assembled in Kurukshetra desiring to fight. So, obviously, when the two parties, they have gathered with the intention to fight, what will they do? They will fight, right? When they have assembled to fight, they will fight. But still, Dhritarashtra makes this inquiry that what did his sons and the sons of Pandu do? So these are the reasons. First, because he was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory, as the battle was fought in Dharmashetra, and since Pandavas were virtuous by nature, this place would favor them. So he was very doubtful of the victory of his sons, because he knew that Pandavas were virtuous, and the specific place where this war was to take place was a Dharmashetra. So Pandavas would be favored by the potency of that place. So he was doubtful about his son's victory. And then he did not want a compromise between his sons and Pandavas, and he wanted to be sure of the fate of his sons on the battlefield. That is, he wanted to be sure that under the influence of the holy place, his sons had not made any compromise with the Pandavas. So he wanted to be sure that under the influence of this Dharmashetra, his sons had not compromised with the Pandavas. So he was very, very willing actually that the war must take place. Next, he was fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. So he was very fearful that the influence of the holy place will be positive at the Pandavas side. Basically, it will impact the outcome of the battle, that is in the favor of Pandavas. So he was fearful about this influence of the Dharmashetra. Next, he was hopeful that under the influence of holy place, the Pandavas will not engage in fight. Instead, they will let the Kauravas to rule and themselves will go to jungle. So he was hopeful that under the influence of the holy place, Pandavas will withdraw, they will not fight. They will let Kauravas to rule the kingdom, and they themselves will go to jungle. Now look at point number 2 and 4. So in point number 2, he does not want the influence of the holy place on his sons, so that his sons do not make any compromise with the Pandavas. In point number 4, he is expecting that this holy place must influence Pandavas, and Pandavas should make compromise. They should just let Kauravas rule the kingdom, and themselves they proceed to jungle, to forest. Okay? So this selfish mentality of Dhritarashtra is very much visible in the first slok itself. Now, one point also to be noted here, another hidden meaning of Dharmashetra that is uttered by Dhritarashtra himself by the grace of Saraswati, that in the place of Dharma, his own sons who are opposers of the Dharma will be destroyed. So this by grace of goddess Saraswati, this Dharmashetra word was uttered by Dhritarashtra, and it is clearly indicating that Pandavas will be victorious. This completes discussion on chapter 1, verse 1. In the next video, we will present to you chapter 1, verse 2. These set of videos are dedicated to our Guru Maharaj, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.